If you were in a narcissistic relationship, there was almost certainly a set of rules that governed the dynamic. But the rules only applied to you. What they were allowed to do and what you were allowed to do occupied two completely different moral universes. And if you ever pointed that out, the response was not acknowledgement. It was a counter-argument about why the comparison was unfair, why your situation was different, why bringing it up proved something problematic about your own character. The double standard in a narcissistic relationship is not accidental. Here's how it works. A narcissist's sense of self requires a specific relational hierarchy in which their needs, their feelings, their actions, and their judgments occupy a higher position than yours. Not because they consciously decided that this hierarchy was fair, but because the false self that protects their fragile internal world cannot survive equality. Equality requires accountability. Accountability requires honest self-examination. And honest self-examination is the one thing the false self cannot permit. So the double standard is not hypocrisy in the ordinary sense. It's a structural necessity. They were allowed to be angry and you were not, because their anger was justified and yours was an attack. They were allowed to distance and you were not, because their withdrawal was self-protection and yours was abandonment. They were also allowed to make mistakes and you were not, because their mistakes were understandable and yours was evidence of fundamental inadequacy. And the most damaging part of the double standard is not what it did to the relationship, it's what it did to your sense of reality, because you were inside a system that consistently applied different rules to the same behaviors depending on who performed them. Your brain began to lose its ability to trust in its own sense of fairness. You started accepting standards for yourself that you would never have accepted anywhere else, because the system has been calibrated to make those standards feel formal. The double standard was not poor self-awareness. It was the control system working exactly as designed. Save this video and share with someone who's still trying to be fair inside an unfair system. And go to my profile right now to follow me. I post this every single day.